In late 1939, as World War II was beginning to engulf Europe, a bitter and unexpected conflict erupted between the Soviet Union and Finland, known as the Winter War. Though overshadowed by larger battles elsewhere, this conflict revealed the complexities of Soviet security concerns, Finnish nationalism, and the brutal realities of war in the frozen north. This article explores why Finland fought the Soviet Union, the causes behind the Winter War, and its lasting impact on both nations. Background: Soviet security concerns. The Soviet Union, under Joseph Stalin, was deeply worried about the strategic vulnerability of Leningrad, now St. Petersburg, a major Soviet city located just 30 miles from the Finnish border. Stalin feared that hostile forces could use Finland as a staging ground for an attack on the USSR. To secure Leningrad's safety, the Soviets demanded territorial concessions from Finland. They wanted to move the border westward, farther from Leningrad. They also sought control over parts of the Karelian Isthmus and islands in the Gulf of Finland. Finland, valuing its independence and sovereignty, refused to cede territory. Why Finland refused? Finland had only gained independence from Russia in 1917, following the Russian Revolution, and was fiercely protective of its sovereignty. The Finns viewed Soviet demands as an infringement on their independence. Ceding territory would threaten national security and identity. Many Finns feared Soviet domination or even outright annexation. Finnish society was deeply committed to defending its homeland, even against overwhelming odds. The outbreak of war. When negotiations failed, the Soviet Union launched a massive invasion on November 30, 1939. The Red Army expected a swift victory against the small Finnish forces. However, Finnish troops, though outnumbered and outgunned, used guerrilla tactics, knowledge of the terrain, and winter warfare skills to resist fiercely. The war was fought in brutal conditions, with temperatures plunging below -40 degrees Celsius -40 degrees Fahrenheit. Finnish tactics and resilience. Despite facing a Soviet force many times larger, the Finns held their ground using innovative tactics. Mahti tactics. Small Finnish units isolated and destroyed larger Soviet formations in the dense forests. Sisu spirit. Finnish determination, toughness, and patriotism became legendary. Winter advantage. The Finns' ski troops and camouflage allowed them to strike effectively in snowy terrain. The outcome of the Winter War. After more than 3 months of fighting, a peace treaty was signed in March 1940. Finland ceded about 11% of its territory, including parts of the Karelian Isthmus. Despite territorial losses, Finland maintained its independence. The Soviet Union's poor performance exposed weaknesses in the Red Army, which would later be addressed. International reactions. The Soviet invasion drew condemnation worldwide. The League of Nations expelled the Soviet Union for aggression. Many sympathized with Finland's David and Goliath struggle. However, no direct military aid from Western powers materialized in time. Legacy of the Winter War. Finland's fierce defense earned global respect and a reputation for resilience. The conflict influenced Finland's cautious neutrality during the rest of World War II. The Soviet Union learned hard lessons about military readiness and leadership. The Winter War was a conflict rooted in Soviet security fears and Finnish determination to protect its sovereignty. Though Finland suffered territorial losses, its heroic resistance became a symbol of national pride and endurance. The war also exposed Soviet weaknesses and shaped the broader strategic landscape of World War II's early years. The Winter War remains a poignant example of how smaller nations can fiercely defend their independence against powerful aggressors.